Reaperman here, and I've never done a real game room tour before, so I thought I'd take you around my kind of auxiliary downstairs game room here and show you what I mean by I don't think I have any more space for games. Let's start the tour over in this corner behind me here. This is kind of my arcade corner, and the main feature of it, of course, is my newer edition of a big San Francisco Rush 2049 arcade cabinet. This has been a lifetime goal of mine, so while it's expensive for a lifetime goal, maybe not so expensive. And yeah, I've done some work cleaning it up, and I managed to get one that still has the original 27-inch CRT on it, so this is just a heck of an experience. Now, moving back into this corner, we've got my first arcade cabinet. This is a Neo Geo MVS. This is just a single slot. It's actually not MVS cab. It's like a Romstar cabinet or something. And right now it's got a MiSTercade in it, so that's kind of why it's got the Ridge Racer Revolution going on in the background up there. It's actually the PlayStation version of that. And I'm working on getting a video together about this thing, and specifically the MiSTercade and how you can record from it, but I've got a couple of little kind of audio snags I'm trying to sort out first. Actually, back in this corner, we've actually got my Neo Geo game storage. I've got a little bit over half the Neo Geo MVS library, which is like 75 games or so. Not counting doubles and triples. I had some kind of drama, especially with King of Fighters 98, actually getting the wrong version of that numerous times. And if you ever wondered how one of these opened, it's usually some kind of a variation on lift up on the joysticks and just kind of pull it out, and it's a bit of a mess in there. But I've got the MiSTercade going down here. I've actually got the old Neo Geo MVS back there, and I've got a box full of spare parts over there. I think everybody keeps their box of spare parts inside one of their cabinets. Moving over a little bit, we got the wife's exercise bike and fireplace and all that stuff. But now we've got this little Vectrex setup that I've got going here, and this is actually a pretty nice place for it. This also hides the Wi-Fi extender for this room, and you probably can't hear it, but it also does some kind of MP3 arcade ambiance, because it gets awfully lonely without having a lot of arcade machines going in. Of course, you know, game storage and stuff is down there. So there's some of the wife's boxes she's sorting through over there. She's in a doubloon club, so she's sorting through doubloons, Mardi Gras doubloons, that is, because we're down here in New Orleans. Over here, I've got my casino corner, and I've got 3 Pachinko machines. I know it only looks like 2. I'll get to that in a minute. But then I've got a Pachislo machine over here, because it turns out that for the cost of sitting in front of like a nickel slot for an afternoon, you could actually just buy yourself kind of a slot machine like thing. Oh, sounds like a lost. Anyway, this I've got my newer Tomb Raider Pachinko machine over here. It's got an animatronic Lara Croft and a big old screen. But then I've got my vintage machine over here, and these are more skill-based. These are actually a little bit more fun. And there's actually 2 of them. They're actually kind of on a Lazy Susan here. And let's see if I remember the way this thing spins, because it only spins one direction. It gets hung up on the wall the other direction. And there is my other Pachinko machine there. It's another vintage one. So there's really not much of a good reason to play one over the other one, but I really like these older ones because they're a little bit more skill-based. And I kind of lost that one. So let's go over to this corner over here. Let's pass the wife's telework desk here. And let's go over to my CRT corner. Now, I actually have another video on the CRT corner. It's got 4 CRTs in it, hooked up to various systems. We've got N64 over here. Then we've got my nuclear plant Dell office rental machine here. It's probably the most radioactive thing in my house. Someday I'll do a video on the history of this thing and the cool stuff I dug off the hard drive. Then I've got my kind of Dell D-series setup here. For those who don't know, I'm kind of a weirdo for kind of office Dells and gaming on them, and right now it's doing the boring part of the Hydro Thunder Attract mode, because obviously I really like my Midway racers. And moving over here to the end, I've actually got my Sony PVM. This is actually the only PVM I own. Currently it's displaying a PlayStation 2 because Sony, but I've also got down here, I've got a Super Gun set up, and this I mostly keep my IGS PGM systems hooked up to, because those are kind of fun. Finally, let's move over to this corner back in here. And down here, it's the only thing down here that's not on is my kind of Dreamcast setup. I've got a video for that. I'll kind of link it in the description. But it's not running right now because I had some drama with trying to get that working in the CRT Corner setup over there. But then I've also got my I Love Me cabinet with all kinds of strange mysteries in it, like my Fatal Fury set here, and of course the Lando controller. And then if we move over to the side of the I Love Me cabinet, it's actually got one of the rarest things I own. This is a Vistion DVD player. It actually plays Game Boy Advance games, but in a less portable way than a regular Game Boy Advance, and it costs like $1,500 new. I do not know what they were thinking there, but for a Game Boy Advance fan like me, it's kind of what you get. So yeah, this tight little cramped room here is my only downstairs room, outside of the little kind of half bath in there. But yeah, I have them all full up for heavy things, so I can't get any more arcade games, anything like that, unless I manage to convince the wife to get rid of this couch and maybe her bikes. Anyway, until next time, Reaper Man out.